Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, we'll tell you how a Southern Kentucky deputy became a lifesaver when he spotted a home engulfed in flames. And more Epstein files are released overnight. What do they reveal about the disgraced financier's ties to the president?
And in the world of weather, it is a warm start to your Tuesday, but the warming trend will continue. Details coming up.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. A Southern Kentucky deputy is being credited with helping a woman escape from a fire. A deputy on routine patrol noticed the fire at a trailer in the Alpha community of Wayne County. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what the deputy did to keep the situation from turning tragic.
Deputy Jerry Meadows says he was on routine patrol Monday when he saw fire coming out of a home on a Happy Top Road.
I announced myself and there was a lady inside the house.
As the fire was getting larger, he convinced her to come outside.
She seemed concerned about her cats. She was concerned about her cats. She didn't want her to leave her cats. But
Sheriff Tim Catron says they made the decision not long ago to try to put fire extinguishers in each of the Sheriff's Department cruisers, and he says he believes that decision kept this situation from becoming a whole lot worse.
Deputy Meadows used that extinguisher to put out the fire from a kerosene heater that was starting to get out of control.
I'm glad it turned out the way it did. I hated that her house caught on fire and that there was some damage, but I'm glad that she's okay.
Meadows says the situation could have been a lot worse had he stuck with his original routine, which was to fill up his cruiser with gas.
Very simply put, God had me in the right place at the right time.
The local fire department was called to assure that the fire was no longer a danger. In Wayne County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The woman asked not to be identified but said her home had minimal damage. Police say she was living with neighbors until repairs can be made. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer wants legal action over the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Schumer introduced a resolution that directs the Senate to sue the Trump administration for failing to release all Epstein records by last Friday's legal deadline. In a statement, Schumer called the move a blatant cover-up. He said the Justice Department released only a tiny fraction of the files while blacking out massive portions. The DOJ says more releases are coming as officials process redactions to protect victims. In the House, Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie is threatening to file a bill to hold Attorney General Pam Bondi in contempt for not releasing all the files. Here's what President Trump had to say about Massie when he was asked about the Epstein files yesterday.
You probably have pictures being exposed of other people that innocently met Jeffrey Epstein years ago, many years ago, and they're, highly respected bankers and lawyers and others, and they'll end up, because of guys like Massie, who's a real lowlife, his polls are down to about 9%, by the way, in the great state of Kentucky. If you look at Kentucky, Kentucky is such a great place, but I don't know, they've got a couple of people in there that are very strange in terms of leadership, but Massie's a loser.
This post on X saying, quote, Trump is blaming me for a bill he eventually signed while defending his banker friends, Bill Clinton, and innocent visitors to Rape Island. Meanwhile, Bondi is working to fervently redact, omit, and delete Epstein files she is legally required to release under our bill. Well, thousands of new Epstein files were released overnight. The latest batch sheds light on President Trump's friendship with the disgraced financier, but the Justice Department says do not believe everything you see. WYMT Washington correspondent Molly Martinez has more.
The latest release of the Epstein files from the DOJ shows President Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 8 times. A note from the U.S. Attorney in New York shows that on one of those flights there were 3 passengers: Epstein, Donald Trump, and a 20-year-old woman. In a stunning statement on X, the Justice Department saying, quote, some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false, and if they had any shred of credibility, they certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already. Despite the latest release of the additional 30,000 documents, Democrat Ro Khanna says there are still very key pieces of evidence missing. That includes the 60-count indictment with the names of those who have been accused of sexual crimes. Here's what Epstein survivor Charlene Rochard had to say about it.
My faith and trust in the government at this point is completely lost. I still have a little bit of hope, but since everything's basically redacted, there is no real transparency.
More documents are expected to be released in the coming days and weeks. In Washington, I'm Molly Martinez.
Well, we are warming up heading into Christmas Eve, and it could end up being one of the warmest Christmases on record. Meteorologist Eric Dean has our first look at the forecast.
If we hit our high of 63, that will be the 5th warmest Christmas on record. Temperatures right now in the upper 50s and low 60s, mid 60s near Manchester, as well as Somerset and Monticello. We're sitting at 59 in Hazard, 61 in Pikeville. Much warmer now as compared to 24 hours ago, between 3 degrees warmer and 16 degrees warmer, depending on your location, and that warming trend will continue as we go throughout the week. Here's a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. All is quiet throughout eastern Kentucky. A little bit of shower activity across the central and western portion of the Commonwealth, but it's just a little renegade shower here and there. If you have plans over the next few hours, make sure you check that First Alert weather app, where we have mainly cloudy skies, a few showers as we go into the late evening and overnight hours. Temperatures will hover right around 60, 61 degrees. I will have your all-important Christmas Eve and Christmas Day forecast coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, Eric, thank you. A UK hospital is being ordered to turn over records related to a former UK student athlete charged in her baby's death. Laken Snelling is accused of hiding the birth and putting the baby's body in a closet. Earlier this month, a subpoena was filed ordering UK Medical Center to give the grand jury Snelling's medical records between August 2024 and now. They have until January 20th to do that. Snelling was on UK's stunt team. Snelling's case was sent to the grand jury in September. Since then, she's been on house arrest in Tennessee. The Department of Education will review safety protocols at Brown University after a deadly mass shooting. The department says it will investigate whether the school violated the Clary Act. It requires universities to meet certain campus safety and security requirements in order to receive federal student aid. 2 students were killed and 9 others hurt when a shooter targeted the school earlier this month. That suspected shooter was found dead days later at a storage facility in New Hampshire. The Ivy League school says it is working to add enhanced security measures to the campus. Starting January 1st, the property tax on aging distilled spirits will start to be phased out and gradually be eliminated by the year 2043. Supporters say the law that was passed in the 2023 legislature protects the bourbon industry and encourages distillers to keep barrels in Kentucky. Critics say it could reduce revenue for local schools and emergency services. The law also includes a measure to help recover some of that revenue. Some Kentucky businesses are adjusting their prices as pennies are no longer being made as a currency in the United States. Hundreds of billions of pennies are still in circulation. According to the federal government, the mint produced 3.2 billion just last year. The 1-cent coin is still legal tender for transactions, but as they start to fade away, retailers must decide how to reprice goods and services, something the Kentucky Retail Federation is also trying to figure out.
It's one of those things nobody thought about. Well, what do we do with, how you pay for things until, we have no pennies in the cash register. So what do we do?
According to the KRF, there's no set law for whether business owners must round up or round down when the penny is gone. There has been legislation proposed nationally that would adopt a uniform rounding method. Paramount is trying to improve its offer as it tries to take over Warner Brothers Discovery. The company has announced Larry Ellison, the father of Paramount CEO David Ellison, will personally guarantee the $40 billion to bankroll the transaction. The Warner Brothers Board of Directors has rejected Paramount's bid multiple times, the board opting instead to go with an offer from Netflix. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, do you believe in Christmas miracles? Someone could be a big Powerball winner just in time for the holiday.
Yeah, the only Christmas miracle I was believing in was snow, and that ain't going to happen this year. Hey, we do have rain and warmer temperatures in the forecast. Details coming up.